So in comics, there are what-if comics. Essentially what those are is they are what-if scenarios, like what if Superman was raised in the Soviet Union during the Cold War, which is an actual comic called Superman Red Sun. It's a good comic. I would definitely recommend it. It just takes characters that we know really well and kind of turns them on their head and makes us ask, like, oh my God, yeah, what if the Kents didn't raise Superman or Clark Kent? Like, what if he was raised by the Soviets? What if he was raised by people who wanted to use him against us? Like, would he go bad? Would he, like, you know, and it just poses all these interesting questions. And this movie, if you've seen the trailer, you know, is really essentially what if Superman became a serial killer? And man, it's really close. I mean, it's super close. He lands on a farm. There's a mom and a dad who take him in. They keep him, you know, in this small Kansas town. Yes, it's set in Kansas. And they have his spacecraft locked up in the barn. And his powers start coming out, and they're trying to deal with them. And it really is. I mean, outside of name only, is this not a Superman film, but a what-if scenario, which I'm a huge fan of. If someone pitched me this idea, fuck yes. A killer Superman movie, sign me up. And that's exactly what you get here. Now, I will say that this is not really a bright burn. I would say this is more of a slow burn. This movie is slower paced. It takes its time to build itself up so that when he does kind of have his breakdown and becomes the killer that we see in the film, it feels organic. It doesn't, and also it makes us almost sympathetic to him, because he's not really a bad kid to start with. So if the movie started with him just being an evil little asshole, I don't think that this film would have worked as well. We have to get to know this character well to feel for him and the family and everyone around for when the eventual fall happens. And man, does it happen. The gore and the kills in this are pretty fucking brutal. Yes, I could have used more. But for a bigger budget, high profile film like this, it went pretty far. I was surprised by some of the gore and kills in this. I was like, oh wow, cool, absolutely. I personally would have preferred double the kills, but I'm pretty much going to say that even if there was 100, I would have wanted 200. There isn't 100, but it's definitely below 10, and I would have liked somewhere double what we got, especially at the end. I think they really could have amped up the last act there and threw in a couple more casualties to kind of give away. But I don't know. At the same time, I respect their decisions not to do that, because not everyone's like me. I'm sure that all the killings that are in here were too much for the majority of people who went to it, and they probably thought, I bet you if you talk to the average moviegoer, they would have been like, I could have dealt with less kills. I could have done with less gore. So I get the decisions behind why they keep it. This is almost like a happy medium. So I'll take what I got, because it was more than I was expecting. The slower pace, I can also understand that because of what I said already. Personally, I would have liked to speed it up just a little. Just up the pacing a little bit and add some more kills, and this would be a near flawless film to me. The production value is super high. Everything looks awesome. The special effects are all great. This was written by James Gunn's brother and his cousin, and it was directed by the guy who did the Guardians of the Galaxy music video with David Hasselhoff, and he also did a movie called The Hive, which I did a patron request review of that pretty recently, which is a pretty cool movie. If you haven't seen it, I'd check it out. But yeah, I was really happy with this movie. I have minor gripes. I already kind of said them. But if you want to see a what if Superman became a serial killer? What if Michael Myers had Superman powers? Or what if Superman decided to become a Michael Myers type character? Whichever way you want to flip that. If you ever wanted to see something like that, here it is. It's much more contained though. It's a much smaller film. I will say that. They didn't go for some lavish flick where it was like, him at the end going absolutely crazy and burning down an entire town and flying up and taking over the city. It does not go anywhere like that. Also, the ending. Oh, I loved the ending of this movie. I thought it was going to go one way, and when it didn't, I was like, yes, this movie's ending is killer. And in addition to that, watch out for an Easter egg that I didn't even notice. I went with a guy off of that I met offline. His name's Tony Crespo. Shout out to Tony. We went to this together, and he pointed it out because James Gunn wrote and directed another movie, and a character from one of his movies makes a small, teeny tiny little appearance there. That's all I'll say. Look for it if you can find it. That's not giving anything away. But yeah, really cool flick. And I really, really hope that a lot of people check this out. This is the kind of movie that you're just like, please see this. It was kind of like Overlord last year where I was like, come on, guys, see the fucking movie. Because these kinds of movies need to get made more often. I want to see a sequel. This would be a great movie to have a sequel to. Because, where this ends, hell yeah. I was very, very pleased with the ending. Yeah. So anyway, guys, let me know what you thought about this, and let me know if you go see it. If you were on the fence about it, go check it out. It's a really fun fucking time. It is slower paced, but it's got a great payoff, and that kid, man, is creepy as shit. The mask and all that stuff in the movie is freaky as fuck. You know, when you watch like Friday the 13th or something, especially the later ones, and it seems like Jason can just teleport here and there. Well, this guy really can. Because you're sitting there like, well, how could Jason teleport? How could Michael teleport? How could he just be at the top of the house when he was at the bottom of the house? Well, because this guy has the excuse that he has Flash-like speed, and he really can move over there, then up here, then over. Like, there is nothing you could do about this. There is nothing you could do against this guy, and it's terrifying. They really do hit that element that you are fucked when he's coming for you, and I loved that about it. So anyway, guys, definitely check this one out. It's a good damn time in the theater. Let me know if you saw it. Adios.